Happy New Year's, guys. We are giving you guys the top 5 best loadouts in Warzone 3. This is cycling through all the potential metas and just giving you guys the absolute best. So we are going to start out with the Polemiot 762. If you guys want some COD points, I want you guys to comment Happy New Year. So start out with the BT7 Spiritfire Suppressor L for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walkie steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Throw on the Jack Annihilator Long Barrel for bullet velocity and range at the cost of sprint to fire speed and aiming out of sway. Bruin Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 time. Now this is my personal preference. You can use whatever you want to, but this is what I like to use. And you can't forget that you need to have the aftermarket parts, the Jack Annihilator Bullpup Kit, in order to actually get any of this. This helps with mobility and handling, rate of fire, hip fire attack, stand spread, and aim down sight speed. So the biggest thing is having this thing all the way leveled up, because this is the long range meta. Like, despite me not wanting it to be, this is definitely the the long range meta. It absolutely gets the job done very easily. Like, anybody that knows how to just slightly aim their controller or mouse can just use this weapon. So with that being said, this is the entire class setup right here. Make sure you guys screenshot it, take a picture, or just make it right now, because this is the long range that you'll absolutely need to win the gunfights. Next is the WASP Swarm. This thing is amazing close range, and in my opinion, probably the best overall close range weapon. Throw on the L4R Flash Hider for muzzle flash concealment, recoil control, and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed. Throw on the WASP Reckless 90 Long Barrel for bullet velocity and range, aiming out of sway, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, hip fire attack, stand spread, aim walkie speed, and sprint to fire speed. Bruin Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. 100 round drum, just because if you're going to put on 50, you might as well put on 100, because the cons are the exact same. The only difference is a reload quickness, and they're just about the same anyway. Last but not least is the FSS Rampage 7 Tactical for aim down sight speed, aiming out of sway, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim walking speed and movement speed. This weapon is very easy to control and easy to use. The only thing I would regret is going through long range engagements with it. You definitely don't want to get into a long range engagement, so just stick to the short to medium range engagements and you'll be good to go, and you'll have plenty of bullets to actually have left over after these engagements. So with that being said, this is the best WASP Swarm class setup, and feel free to take a screenshot, because this is what you'll absolutely need. I know there's a conversion kit here. Do not use it, because you're going to do absolutely terrible if you actually use this. So make sure you guys just stick with this class setup right here, and you'll be good to go for the close range meta. For anybody looking for the best assault rifle, I have to say the WASP B is undisputably the best assault rifle. Started with the BT7 Spiritfire Suppressor L for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Put on the Bruin Venom Long Barrel for bullet velocity and range, recoil control, aiming out of sway, and gun kick control at the cost of sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and sprint speed. Put on the Bruin Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. Put on the 45 round mag, because you can't go any higher. If you could, I would tell you guys to put 60, 80, 100, whatever it takes, because this assault rifle is amazing and should have as many bullets as possible. Last but not least, the Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times. Now this is my personal preference. If you want to use something else, feel free, but I think this is the best possible choice. The damage profile on this gun is absolutely nuts. Like, I wish I could say that there's something better, but honestly, I can't think of anything that would just beat this assault rifle in the assault rifle category. This is absolutely dominant. There is one assault rifle that I guess is somewhat on par, but not with this damage profile. So with that being said, feel free to screenshot this class setup right here. There is a bit of recoil, as you guys saw on the second time around, but if you guys are able to control that, you'll do absolutely amazing. Next is the best overall SMG, which is the WASP 9. This thing is great short, medium, and long range. Started with the Sonic Suppressor S for being undetectable by radar, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim walking steadiness, sprint to fire speed, and recoil control. Put on the WASP Reckless 90 Long Barrel for bullet velocity and range at the cost of sprint to fire speed. 50 round mag, this is my personal preference. I see a lot of people actually using 40, so whatever you're more comfortable with, feel free. If you want to use 40, it's not going to be that bad, just because this doesn't just fly through bullets like that, and you'll have significantly less cons in the mobility aspect. So whichever one you choose, completely up to you. Marauder Grip for gun kick control, firing aim stability, and recoil control at the cost of aiming idle sway. And last but not least, the Mark III Reflector. This is personal preference. You can use any sight that you guys actually want to, but the Mark III Reflector is what I like to use. This thing absolutely excels at short and medium range engagements. I would stick to avoiding the long range engagements and just like switching to your long range weapon for the long range engagements, but short range is amazing. Medium range gets the job done very easily. This is just a weapon that you absolutely have to have in your arsenal. So with that being said, please copy this class setup down. You'll absolutely love it. Now, I know there's a conversion kit in here, but in my opinion, it's just not really worth it. It maximizes the ammo capacity, which is cool and all, but I mean, is it really worth it just to have all those cons? I don't think so. So I think you guys should just stick with this and you'll be good to go. If you guys made it this far into the video, comment meta. But this is the last weapon I actually want to show you guys, the Ram 7. This thing is so amazing as an assault rifle. It's very fast fire rate, has the best TTK in regards to his fire rate, but it doesn't have the highest damage profile. And the other downside is long range. It's probably not going to be as ideal as a WASP B, but for short and medium range engagement, you're most likely going to dominate with this weapon. Started with the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Ruin heavy support grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. 60 round drum. I mean, I like using this. If you want to use 40 and 20, be my guest. It's just not optimal. I think the 60 is the best possible choice. HVS 3.4 pad for gun kick control and recoil control at the cost of sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, and movement speed, which is not a big deal. Last thing, I use the Koryo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times. I absolutely love using this, and I don't really suggest an alternative, but if you guys want to use the iron sight or anything like that, feel free to just throw on another underbarrel or some sort of thing to help with the recoil control, but this is my personal choice. And just show you guys how lethal this is at basically all ranges, short, medium, and long range. Is very easy to control, gets the job done very easily. I just want to show you guys one more time just how lethal this thing is. Check how beautiful this thing is. There is a little bit of recoil, but I think it's very manageable recoil. So with that being said, I have to show you guys this entire class setup so you guys can screenshot, take a picture, or just build the class right now. It's absolutely amazing, and in my opinion, it is also one of the best assault rifles in Warzone 3. So please give this a try. And if you guys have made it this far into this video, let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite build is, because I would love to know it to help you guys out the most. But there is one more thing I want to show you guys. It's not part of the top 5, but technically it's a secondary. It is the Core 45. This thing is a close range meta, and it's actually insane how good it is. We're starting out with Sonic Suppressor XS for being undetectable by radar, bullet velocity and range at the cost of recoil control, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. 40 round drum for the max amount of magazine ammo capacity. I'm not going to go through the cons. You guys can see it right there. XRK dynamic precision stock for gun kick control and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. And last but not least, the Mark III reflector. Remember, you guys need the aftermarket parts for this, so you guys have to level this all the way up so you can have the XRK IP V2 conversion kit. This allows for tac stance, fire rate, bullet velocity and range, and aiming idle sway at the cost of aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and damage. Not a big deal, because with this build right here, it gives you the absolute meta burst pistol. So I'm going to show you guys, and keep in mind this is actually a burst pistol, so you have to try to like constantly be bursting. You have to constantly be pushing like the shoot button, so it's going to kind of feel like a semi-automatic, but it is a fully automatic when you actually shoot that fast. And try to avoid these mid-range engagements, just because they're going to be more 50-50 than this, where you can absolutely melt with very little trouble. And with that being said, this is the best pistol in Warzone 3. I would say it is actually the close range meta, but there are so many variables that just make it not the close range meta. Like if you have to constantly push the button and there's room for failure, then it doesn't make it a meta. So that's why I say the WASP Swarm is the meta, but if you can actually control your trigger finger, this is the close range meta.